Welcome to the great detectives of old time radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. In a moment, we're going to bring you this week's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. But first, I want to encourage you, if you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. And remember, as you're making your travel plans, check JohnnyDollarAir.com first. JohnnyDollarAir.com is a Priceline affiliate link, so part of your purchase price supports the great detectives of old-time radio at no additional cost to you. So remember, when making your travel plans, check JohnnyDollarAir.com first. But now, from January 25th, 1959, here is the doting Dowager matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
George Reed here.
Oh, hi, George. How are things at Floyd's of England?
Very good, as a matter of fact. Very good.
Well, now, it can't all be good, or you wouldn't be calling me.
Well, to tell the truth, I do have a small problem.
Figures.
No, figure's the word, singular.
Huh?
A small figure, a statuette belonging to Mrs. Dora Harkness Ballin down in New York.
Ballin?
Yes, terribly wealthy, but a real eccentric.
So what's happened?
The little statue I mentioned, it's gone, disappeared.
Oh? What's it worth?
Insured value is $26.50.
Wow.
$26.50.
Huh? $26.50 wouldn't even cover my expense account.
Well, it just happens that she carries hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of personal property insurance with us. But for some reason or other, she attaches particular value to this statuette.
Oh, I get it. You're afraid that if we don't go through the motions of trying to find it, she might take her insurance elsewhere.
Precisely.
Real important to you, huh?
Very.
Then I take it I won't have to be chintzy with the old expense account.
Well, now, Johnny...
Okay, George, I'll be in touch.
Bob Bailey in the intriguing adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Floyd's of England, North American Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the doting Dowager matter. Expense account item 1, $7.90, taxi, train fare and incidentals, Hartford to New York. Item 2, $1 even for a cab from Grand Central Station to the address of Mrs. Dora Harkness Ballin over on East 73rd Street. It turned out to be one of New York's famous old brownstone houses, well preserved and reeking of an era long gone by. A uniformed butler ushered me into a large, high-ceilinged drawing room, and I could hardly believe my eyes. Ornate pre-Victorian furnishings, heavy red velvet draperies, huge lamps and crystal chandeliers, oil paintings all over the place, and gilded mirrors. Pretty fabulous.
If you will be kind enough to wait here, Mr. Dollar, I shall tell Mrs. Ballin that you have arrived.
Thank you.
I know that she'll want to see you. Oh, excuse me, Master Harold.
It's all right, Higgins. Has the mail come?
Would you like me to check, sir?
Yes, good idea. You know how Aunt Dora likes to see it the minute it gets here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the mail. The dear old common everyday mail. You're here to see Mrs. Ballin?
That's right. I'm Johnny Dollar.
I'm Hal Winters, her nephew.
Hi. Say, tell me something.
Yes?
About this little statue that's missing.
You mean that little chunk of pot metal that's disappeared?
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, yes, just a piece of junk. But a couple of months ago, Aunt Dora decided it looked like her grandfather when he was a general back in the Civil War.
Oh? Why does she value it so highly?
I expect the general was the only Ballin who had guts enough to do anything on his own.
What do you mean?
I mean, instead of just living off the family shipping fortune. So when she suddenly decided the statue looked like the general, Johnny Dollar, did you say?
That's right.
The insurance investigator?
Yes.
Well, now, why should she bother you with it?
I don't know.
Truly, Mr. Dollar, it's not worth it. If I were you, I'd forget it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd better see if the morning mail has arrived.
Hal, just when did the statue disappear and from where?
Tonto discovered it missing from the reception room yesterday morning. Now, if you'll pardon me...
Was the house broken into?
Possibly. But there was no sign of it.
How about guests?
No, we haven't had guests for a week or more.
How many servants are there?
Mr. Dollar, perhaps there's something I'd better tell you about that statue.
The statue of the general? I tell you, Mr. Dollar. You are Mr. Dollar, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
I tell you that if you don't find out who stole it and get it back, I'll cancel every bit of my insurance. Sit down.
Thank you.
Harold, my dear, ring for Higgins and have him see if the morning mail has come.
I was about to go out and look for it myself, Tonto.
Let Higgins do it.
It's quite all right. I don't mind.
I said let Higgins do it.
Well, all right. But if you'll excuse me now.
Oh? Why?
Why, I'd like to go up to my room for a moment.
To call up that girlfriend of yours again? Sit down.
Yes, Tonto.
You and that girl, that Nancy Gavin. She'd like to take you away from me, wouldn't she?
Aunt Dora.
Where would you go? What would you live on? And what would I do?
Darling, I hardly think this is the
Much
proper
as
time.
I like Nancy Gavin, I see no reason why I should let her take you away from me. Do you?
Mrs. Ballin, about the statue.
Yes, of course. Mr. Dollar, you are to leave no stone unturned.
Wow, now tell me...
I beg your pardon, Mum.
Oh, Higgins, why do you sneak in on us this way? Well, what is it?
The mail just arrived, and knowing you'd want to see it.
Give it to Harold.
Yes, here, I'll take care of it. Well?
What letter?
No postmark.
But?
And it's so badly scrawled in pencil.
Well, don't bother Aunt Dora with it now.
But it's marked personal, sir.
Well, then let me have it.
Yes, Mum.
Tonto.
You may go now, Higgins.
Yes, Mum.
Here, Tonto, suppose you let me see what it's all about.
Be quiet, Harold. Now, Mr. Dollar.
Well, first of all, I'd like you to tell me... Oh, what's the matter, Mrs. Ballin?
Aunt Dora, what is it?
This letter.
Yes?
It's a ransom note.
Ransom?
For the return of a statuette. The general. They want $75,000.
What?
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
This letter, Mr. Dollar.
Maybe you'd better let me see it, Mrs. Ballin.
It's a ransom note demanding $75,000 for the return of my statuette of the general.
$75,000?
Yes, Harold.
Oh, they can't be serious.
For that little piece of pot metal?
Sure, they must be out of their minds.
I beg your pardon.
What?
That statue means everything to me. It happens to be a memento of my grandfather, the famous General Horace Harkness Ballin. At least it looks like him.
But good heavens, Aunt Dora, $75,000.
Oh? Do you object because it will mean that much less for you when I die, Harold?
Of course not. I wasn't even thinking of such a thing.
Well, don't. At your age, with your lack of experience and getting along on your own, money like that would only do you harm.
Would it?
Yes. You'd probably leave me, strike out on your own, perhaps even marry, and heaven only knows what would happen.
Mrs. Ballin, are you really serious about paying this ransom?
I have the money. I have it right here in the safe. And if it will bring back the general...
Look, why don't you let me see what I can do about it first?
And have it destroyed?
Destroy?
Well, here, read the letter.
It was the usual sort of thing, poorly written on cheap paper and scribbled in pencil. And it simply said that the money in unmarked bills was to be turned over to her nephew, Harold. That instructions for its delivery would be given to him later, secretly. That if he then divulged the place and manner in which he was to make the payment, his life would be in danger.
Don't you see, Mr. Dollar? If we don't do as they say, they might kill him.
It further said that if the police were brought in, the statue would be destroyed.
I have no choice, Mr. Dollar. I'll pay the ransom.
Tonto.
Harold, you will take it to them, whoever they are, when you receive their instructions.
They've threatened me.
Only if we don't obey instructions.
All right, now look, Mrs. Ballon.
Yes, Tonto. Listen to Mr. Dollar.
I have told you I must have the General back at any cost. Very well. No one is to leave this house, except Harold, of course, when he is told to by the kidnapper.
Mrs. Ballon, I won't let you do this.
You what?
It's utter nonsense for you to consider paying out that kind of money for a cheap little piece of junk that can't possibly be worth anything to whoever took it. Except, perhaps, for its effect on you.
I told you, young man, it's the one priceless memento I have of the great General Ballon.
Yeah, you told me.
Very well. You are here on my orders, are you not?
Well, yes.
All right. Then you will remain subject to my orders. Very well now.
Hi, everybody.
Nancy.
Well, what's everybody looking so glum about? Hi, sweetie. Hello, Mrs. Ballon.
Miss Gavin? Mr. Dollar, this is Nancy Gavin, a friend of Harold.
Johnny Dollar?
Hi.
Hey, I know about you.
Nancy, dear.
You come to find that whatchamacallit that Mrs. Ballon lost?
It was stolen.
Okay, stolen.
And the kidnappers are demanding $75,000 ransom.
That's easy. Pay it.
I shall. And Nancy, you are to stay right here in this house until this whole thing is over with.
Auntie, I don't mind that a bit. Do we, Hal?
Forward, wench.
Seriously, Auntie, when are you going to let Hal marry me? Get out on his own.
And leave me? Do you think for 1 minute that my precious Harold would do that?
Why don't you answer that, Hal?
Mr. Dollar, this is none of your business. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the reason for your being here.
You know something, Mrs. Ballon? I'm beginning to think you're wrong.
You came here to find the statue that was stolen from me.
That's right. And maybe I'm on the track of it now. So how about it, Hal? Would you leave your aunt if you could? It was a wild guess, but the more I thought about it, the more I decided that Harold Winter's answer might solve this case for me. Yeah, and that Mrs. Ballon would be pretty shocked when I put my finger on the thief, the writer of that ransom note. But you know something? I was dead wrong.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment. And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the doting Dowager matter.
Mr. Dollar, this is none of your business. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the reason for your being here.
You know something, Mrs. Ballon? I'm beginning to think you're wrong. So answer the question, Hal. Would you leave your aunt if you could?
Yes. Yes, I would.
What?
You bet he would, Aunt Dora. You know he would. If you'd just break down and admit he's no longer a child to be tied to your apron string.
Nancy.
Give him a break and enough money to get by for a week or two, and he'll show you. Don't you want him to amount to anything?
Of course I do.
Well, he can't as long as you keep him tied up to you this way.
But he needs me.
Does he? Maybe he needs somebody like me. Somebody who loves him and will help him get somewhere. Help him to accomplish the things he can accomplish.
You do love him, don't you?
You bet I do.
But so do I. And he loves me.
He'd love you a lot more if he weren't so tied down to you.
Harold?
It's true, Aunt Dora.
I never knew you even thought about leaving me. About going out on your own, as you put it.
Because you never gave me a chance. Because you never thought of anyone but yourself. I'm sorry, Mr. Dollar.
What?
I mean that you've had to become involved in a family fight.
Well, I'm not. Because now I think I know where to look for that statuette.
Oh? Well, I wish you luck. Come, Nancy, I want to talk to you.
Sure, honey, I want to talk to you.
Now, wait just a minute.
No, Mr. Dollar, let them go.
Yeah,
because I want to talk to you.
Now, look. Isn't it pretty obvious? I knew that something was wrong when I first got here. Hal hadn't known you were going to call me in.
I
So that when he
didn't.
saw me here... You didn't?
No. It was my kind, thoughtful butler Higgins who called your insurance company, and he shouldn't have.
The fact remains that when Hal saw me here, he tried to stop that ransom note he'd planted in your mail.
Oh, now wait,
Now,
please.
about that ransom note. It was badly written, much too badly written, by someone who was trying to hide his identity. I'll wager that paper it was scribbled on came from right here in this house.
Probably.
And I'll bet that if I accuse him of it, Hal will break down and admit that he wrote it.
Wait, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah?
I devoted many years to the care and upbringing of my nephew.
I realize that.
In the hope that he would someday go out on his own, accomplish something himself.
Well, now listen.
I know. Perhaps over the years I made him too dependent on
I'd say
me.
yes to that.
But that's because I am as I am and I can't change. But I kept hoping that he would change. That somehow, sometime, he would make just one desperate move to break away from me. But it would have to be of his own doing.
So?
For years, people have called me eccentric, and I've enjoyed the reputation. So I made a fuss over that cheap little statuette that I picked up in Coney Island one time as a child.
Huh?
Of course. That was the only sentimental value it had.
But according to Harold...
Oh, now, should I have picked one of the valuable artworks, paintings, or sculptures that I really care about, in my selfish way, for this little experiment?
So you gave the worthless statuette the big build-up?
Yes, and he fell for it. He believed that if it was stolen, I'd give almost anything to get it back. And then finally, he got up enough nerve to do something about it.
Now, just a minute. What you're telling me is that you're tickled pink that you've made a thief out of him.
I'm tickled pink that he's finally shown some guts and gumption. And you can't call him a thief over that piece of junk.
But it has a price of $75,000 on it. That's what he'll be stealing, if you give him that money and let him walk out of here with it.
No, he won't.
What else can you call it?
I like to be eccentric, remember?
Oh, Mrs. Ballard.
So the note I'll enclose with it, you know, when he tells me he's received instructions about where and how it's to be delivered.
What note?
In it I'll say, Dear Harold, the best of luck to you and Nancy. I hope you'll be tremendously happy. And I hope that now and then you'll drop in on your loving and now somewhat lonesome Aunt Dora.
I see.
And I think I'll enclose a few extra thousand, just in case. And as a kind of extra wedding present.
Extra wedding present?
Of course. The statuette. I certainly don't want them to bring that atrocity back here.
Oh, no, don't.
Wait. Yes, dear?
I just wondered if Mr. Dollar has decided how he wants to proceed with his investigation.
Well, Mr. Dollar?
Hal, after getting what information I could from your aunt, what little information I could...
Yes?
Hal, I've decided to give up the case.
Yes, Harold. You may as well show Mr. Dollar to the door.
Whatever you say, Tonto.
Yeah. Goodbye, Mrs. Ballard. Oh, and maybe you'd better phone the insurance company about the extra fee I'm to get on this case.
Oh, I did. Right after Higgins told me he'd called them.
But if he's giving up the case, dear...
Show him to the door, Harold.
Yes. This way, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah. Thanks. Now you listen, Hal.
I can tell by your look that you've learned something, Mr. Dollar.
I have.
Perhaps even more than I know. So, look here.
Huh?
Do you think this will do for the sequel to the ransom note?
What?
You know, the instructions about where I'm to take the money.
Oh, now wait a minute. You mean to say... You mean you knew...
Are you kidding? That's why I tried to discourage you in the beginning.
But will somebody please tell me why?
Tata, just being herself. You don't think for a minute she'd have just handed me the money, would have admitted she wants Nancy and me to get hitched. Don't you see? That would spoil her reputation for being an eccentric. Oh, and if you like, I'll send you the statuette when this is all over, as a souvenir.
Well, I'll be... Believe me, I've handled some pretty wanky cases over the years. But this was by long odds the wankiest. And yet, why complain when it's a good living? Expense account total, including all the incidentals I could think of, and fare back to Hartford. What? $17.80. Tommy. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
star will return in just a moment. Our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, well, if you've ever read the personal columns of your newspaper, you'll surely want to hear it. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Eleanor Audley, G. Stanley Jones, Eric Snowden, and Sam Edwards. Be sure to join us next week.
Welcome back. Worth noting that this episode, even though we played it right after last week's, there was another episode in between that is missing, and the episode after this is missing. Now, one thing I will confess is that when I heard Johnny refer to this as his wildest case, my hackles went up, because in my mind, the wildest case Johnny Dollar has ever done is the Glacier Ghost matter, newly recovered, in which, in order to dislodge a body from an unreachable glacier, he threw dynamite onto the glacier from a small plane. But Johnny said something in this episode that gave me pause when he described it as his wackiest case. And I don't feel the Glacier Ghost matter was a wacky story. So now I am distinguishing between the wacky Johnny Dollar stories, where Johnny finds himself the straight man for eccentric people doing eccentric things like putting their money through the laundry, or managing the singing career of a mouse, as opposed to wild cases where really strange, weird, implausible things happen in a sort of action-adventure way. That said, I'm honestly not sure whether this actually does take the cake for wackiest case, because there are a number of contenders. I mean, we have heard Johnny deal with Alvin Cartwright and his unusual animals, and Durango Laramie washing cash and selling people acres of his not oil land. So I think in that way it's kind of middle of the road in terms of how high it ranks on the truly wacky meter. I feel like stating that a Floyd's of England client is eccentric is one of those things that really should just be considered as read. I mean, nearly every client they have is eccentric. Might have something to do with them taking ads out in Eccentrics Weekly, but this is the reason Johnny gets called in by them. I enjoyed Eleanor Audley in this. She was given a lot of work that just came down to playing a snooty or snobbish, middle-aged or elderly woman, depending on the stage of her career. However, she could handle meatier roles. When this episode released, we were 4 days away from the release of Sleeping Beauty and audiences being introduced to Maleficent. And here she gets to add some color to the character. And while this is exaggerated, I think that there are many real-life relationships that can have elements where they know that the way the relationship, and here we could talk romantic or, in this case, familial, we know the way that this is functioning is not good for one or both parties, but we don't know really how to make it work. Now, while I suppose she could throw him out and do a sort of sink or swim buddy approach, her idea that in order for him to actually succeed in life away from her, is that he is going to have to get some gumption and take some initiative. Now, is inducing him to commit a jewel theft the best way to do this? Probably not, but this is a Floyd's of England client, so that's about what you'd expect. Alright, well, listener comments and feedback now. We have some comments on Spotify regarding the Hollywood mystery matter. And we start with Don, who highlighted my comment, "This is a middle-aged bookkeeper and not the Riddler." Very good, Adam, and thanks for calling a guy in his 60s middle-aged, unlike some other programs where anything over 40 is played as elderly. Looking at you, Dragnet. Well, I guess it's somewhat of the modern perspective. You know, they do say that 60 is the new 40. They also say that 40 is the new 30, but this does not feel like my 30s. But thanks so much. Appreciate the comment, Don. Doctor Who Done It writes, normally, Johnny Dollar is a 4-course meal. This one seemed all appetizer. They missed all the meat and potatoes. You know, I think that's actually a really fair comparison. And this tends to happen quite a bit because of the reduction in episode runtime. There's not as much opportunity to fill the story and to do everything that you might do if you had, say, 26 minutes of storytelling time. And so some stuff gets sacrificed in the process. And Johnstone seems to, on occasion, sacrifice the wrong thing. I mean, there are episodes which are 20 minutes and half of it is Johnny talking to the insurance agent. Harrison says, "I was hoping for more Parley Bear in an episode featuring a character named Parley. That's not even the most extreme underuse of Parley Bear in one of these stories. I think the Parley Baron matter, one of the other episodes with a character named Parley didn't even have Parley Bear in it at all. It's an unusual choice. In most other episodes where Johnstone's naming a character after an actor, that actor actually appears, like Eric Snowden. But Parley Bear did not need to actually be in the episode for a character to be named after him." Vicky writes, "Interesting," and John says, "No expense account this time because he took the bribe from the pretty niece." I don't think that's in character at all. Also on the not taking an expense account, not sure why Johnny had the attitude he did when he was already told no prosecution was the desire. This is from Mechanic 66. And then why foot the bill himself for a miser annually around bad boss. So I guess a couple of different issues in those two comments. First of all, I think that John misunderstood the end. Johnny did not take a bribe. Essentially what the niece offered to do was the money that her uncle had already spent, she offered to make it good. And this pretty much resolved the issue in terms of the client and in terms of the insurance company. The boss would be repaid the full amount. The insurance company would not have to provide anything. And while, as Mechanic 66 pointed out, the owner did not want to prosecute, but the thing is, that really wasn't the end of the matter. If they were only able to make a partial recovery, the insurance company wasn't just going to pay off, smile, and walk away. Generally, insurance contracts require, if you're insured, you cooperate with the efforts of recovery. And the insurance company had a number of tools available. They could press for prosecution, they could also bring a civil case, or they could some binding restitution arrangement. Regardless, Parley wasn't just going to get off the hook scot-free. By her going ahead and being willing to pay the difference, it could close the matter without the insurance company making any recovery at all. Though the talk about being an accessory after the fact was just a bit of nonsense. As to Johnny refusing the expense account, that tends to be one of his more eccentric little quirks, and it's usually born out of an emotional reaction, either joy or disgust or sadness. Here, I think it's an expression of gratitude for the new year. It's an expression that he's happy for Parley Baron because of the false diagnosis and his niece's kindness. He actually gets a chance to start his life over again and have some enjoyment rather than working his life away at a job that doesn't care for him or about him, and therefore have a much better outlook on life. Now, I'll admit I don't totally understand this instinct. I have had times of being happy and grateful. I have never felt so happy that I think I'm going to go ahead and not charge a large corporation money they owe me. That is just not a level of happiness I've achieved. But just as with our eccentric millionaires, if that's how Johnny wants to spend his money, that's his business. All right, then we have a comment on YouTube. This one from Mildred regarding the recent function upgrades there. The hot button is only available for the first 6 or 7 days after a video has been uploaded, and you only get 3 hops per week. Monday is the start of a new hop week. Well, thanks so much, Mildred. That is not a feature I've understood, so I appreciate the feedback. Now it is time to thank our Patreon supporters of the day, and as this is the first Friday in February, we want to thank those who've been supporting the podcast for 5 years this month. And I want to thank David, supporting the podcast at the Chief of Detectives level of $30 or more per month. MCF, supporting us at the Master Detective level of $15 or more per month. Pauline, supporting the podcast at the Detective Sergeant level of $7.14 or more per month. Thanks so much for your support. And that will do it for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. And be sure to rate and review the podcast wherever you download it from. We will be back next Friday with another episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Join us next Monday as we begin our second trip through the Saint. But join us back here tomorrow as we give way to the great adventurers of old-time radio, where...
Look, Henry, we can see for miles.
Sure. We're about 4,000 feet up. Look how those cliffs drop right down from the side of the road.
What's the matter?
Oh, I thought I'd turn and drive right up to the edge. We can sit for a few minutes and look out at the view.
Henry, the front wheels are right on the edge, both of them.
Of course. See how I can handle a car? I didn't have a drink like you did.
It's exciting.
Have another drink.
All right, but I'm dizzy now.
Yeah. Lean on my shoulder.
Henry, I'm sorry. Oh, quick!
What's the matter?
It's all right now, but something in my arm, like a needle.
Oh, perhaps there was a pin or something in the cushion.
Oh, it felt like a... Henry.
Yes?
What stuck into me? What was it?
Why, how should I know?
You do know. It was you. You've done it. There was a hypodermic needle. You poisoned me. You had...
We're getting too dangerous to have around you and your jealous freak.
Help!
Get your head off. Nobody'll ever hear you up here. You're going over the cliff.
They'll get you for this. They'll get you for murder.
Oh, no. The injection was just enough to make you unconscious. When they find your body, it will have bled naturally. An accident, your stomach full of liquor.
In the meantime, send your comments to box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter, Radio Detectives, and check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/greatdetectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.